Hi, I'm Tony, and I'll be interviewing Anavi Managram. So, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Manavi and I'm 17 years old. I'm Indian, but I was born in Bangkok and I've lived here my whole life. And this is my 12th year at ISB. Next year, I'll be attending Northeastern University where I'll be studying communication and advertising.
So, what is an experience you've had in your high school career that can be used to exemplify the four ways of knowing?
So throughout high school, I've had a lot of really great experiences at ISB. But one of my best experiences here was my trip to Morocco, where I lived amongst the Beni Kola villagers. And during this experience, I got to spend time with a host family who let me live with them, and I learned a lot about the lifestyle and culture of the village.
Well, why did you choose this event?
Throughout high school, I've been really involved in community service and a lot of clubs and activities. And I especially found my trip to Morocco really fun because I got to live with a village, and this was obviously very different from anything else I've experienced. But also, we got to help out the villagers and like learn about their lifestyles and stuff. So that was really interesting for me.
Do you think your experience in Morocco has impacted you personally as a student?
Well, I think my work in the community has contributed significantly to the person that I am, and therefore my performance in the classroom. I enjoy learning about other people and ideas, such as the village of Benicola, and therefore in the classroom, I'm often more interested in learning about different things. And I'm also good at observing other behavior, and this really comes into play when I work with partners. Like, I can understand people pretty well.
Yeah.
And like my time to when I work in communities makes me realize like how much time I spent wasted. So in the classroom, I often try to work as hard as I can. And during the trip, we didn't have any electronics with us. We were cut off from all technology, and I think this made me realize how important it is to connect and spend quality time with my peers. And this has made me more efficient and taught me how to manage my time.
Well, what was your experience in Benicola like?
For 5 days, we lived in the Benicola village, and every day the families would live. We would wake up, we would have breakfast with our family, and then we'd go down to the school where like the local kids would be, or we'd go to the NGO organization's office where women would come to learn how to sew so they could get jobs, and or we'd help plant olive trees, which were the main source of like income for the villagers. And every ISB student lived with a different family, and we'd like see how they'd cook, we'd see how they'd speak to each other, we'd see their family routines, like the roles of different family members and how they interacted with one another and what was sort of important to them, what their values were in their culture.
Let's not get too far here. What are the ways of knowing, and which ones connected to your experience?
The four ways of knowing are emotion, language, reason, and perception. And I think the ones that applied to me the most were emotion and language.
Well, how did they affect your whole experience?
With emotion, I was able to feel a lot of primary and social emotions. Like when I saw the conditions of the family, at first I was sad, and because it was very different from mine, and I thought they were like lacking in a certain way. But it wasn't really their condition. The satisfaction that they had with their lives was also another emotion that appealed to me because I was grateful for them. And this happiness allowed me to empathize with their happiness. And so, this mimicry of emotions was sort of like the James Lang theory, where you feel the emotions and your physiological reaction allows you to feel the emotion later. And I was not only able to understand their emotions, but this was a form of communication for us that made me realize how the six primary emotions can be understood worldwide. So they would recognize my six primary emotions as I would for them. And I also felt social emotions like guilt and sympathy for the people, and I wanted to know I was doing something. And with language, I realized there were more ways to communicate than verbally since we didn't speak Arabic and they didn't speak English. We would have to use our body language to communicate with them.
What did you learn about this experience?
This experience made me reflect on the world and the people who are part of it. And I realized how big our planet is, and it encouraged me to think about the different religions and customs and values that different ethnic groups have. And it was really interesting because I'd never heard of the Beni Kola village before. But I also like, helped me understand the power of communication, the ability to share so much with saying so little.
You look a little Moroccan yourself.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. How can you apply this experience to your knowledge and your behavior as a student?
Well, the 4 ways of knowing apply to everything I know the past 4 years in high school, but I'm able to considerably reflect on how I've gathered the information that I have or the things that I know and the process in which I've taken in the knowledge that I have. In the future, I will be able to apply this metacognition to advertising too, which I hope to be a part of the industry in the future. And my understanding of the 6 different ways of knowing will help me understand, like, on a business worldwide perspective, like how different cultures will recognize the emotions. So if I was designing a campaign that was going to go worldwide, I would want to use those 6 emotions because it would appeal to people more. But I also realized that despite emotion being like transferable, my sample size was really small, and there are limits to induction, and I should be aware in the future of what I'm doing, especially when I'm researching for like marketing and understanding populations. I should use a bigger sample.
Thank you, Navi.